I really want to dive into for just a couple of minutes about a little bit about your journey from the perspective of being a woman in our industry. And
Okay.
I'm not saying this to call anybody out or anything like that or to create controversy, but our industry is not a leader in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And unfortunately, I fit in the category where the majority of us sit, which I am older, gray-haired white men. And when you look around our industry, you look at leaders in our industry, a lot of them look like me. And as someone that's been in the industry as long as you've been in the industry, talk to me a little bit about that journey and then why this is important that we focus on this aspect of inclusion of people from diverse backgrounds, regardless of what they are.
Sure. I think when I look around today, it's much better, right? Because I can look at, there was just an announcement this week of the new president of Steelcase is a female. And so that I was like, wow, that's great. And you look around, some of the major manufacturers definitely have strong females in the company. But when I started 26 years ago, it was a very different story. You would see, females in dealers more than manufacturers, and definitely not at the high level of manufacturers. So, it's great to say 26 years later that it is, very different than when I started. But, I spent a lot of time, and it's never really bothered me, I think, because I come from, a family of, I have three brothers and myself. So I was like, hey, I'm always part of the boys club because that's how I was raised. But yeah, it has been, and I hate that term, but it really, even today there, boys clubs. And I think I was thinking about it in preparation, and I think so much of it is that we like to surround ourselves with people that are like us. And that really isn't a great strategy, right? Because it's the diversification that makes everything happen, right? It's having different faces at the table, different genders, different colors. I mean, everything, right? That just invite them all to sit down at the table, and then that's what makes us who we are, and that's what makes us great at what we do. Because if we do it right and we listen, all those different ideas and the different backgrounds and the different experiences feed into. But even today, as I look around, there are some companies that I'll look on and I'll just look at pictures of, who they put on their website, and I'm like, huh, look at that, it's all white men.
Mhm.
Wow, right? Like, and I think part of it is that we surround ourselves with people like us. And then secondly, it's got to be an effort. You've got to make the effort. And so, whether that means you have to have someone on your team that calls you out and says, oh, you're looking for someone, let's look for a diverse player here because you're just a group of, men at the table right now and we need more. But it's got to be a concerted effort, because if you don't, you will continually bring people. It's just human nature
Mhm.
that we surround ourselves with people like us.
I think the word here is intention.
Yep.
You have to be intentional about
Yes.
diversifying your employee base in order to further the growth. And I'm going to actually add faster of your organization, because people with diverse backgrounds have think differently. And it's
Yes.
so powerful what you just said. If we all come around the table and we don't all look the same, we can solve problems in our industry. We can solve problems in our businesses by bringing people in with different ideas and different thoughts than what we have that will
Yes.
allow us to propel our growth forward. I'll also add to this, it's also the diversity of job function. When you're
Yes.
bringing people into the table to solve a problem, don't just bring all salespeople or all leadership. Bring the guy from the factory and the person from customer service, and bring these people in because they see the challenge and they see the customer experience or the customer journey differently than a whole bunch of salespeople do, or sales leaders, or even leadership do sitting at a table. They see it from a different perspective and they have ideas, and their voices should be heard.